Matt, what do you like about the quarterback group that you guys have assembled now that cuts are official and everything? What was it that especially Dwayne Haskins did that showed you guys that he needed to have a spot on this roster?
Obviously, we feel like he's a very talented player, and he came in and has worked very hard. As we talked last week, the ups and downs of camp, good days and bad days, same with games. And every play, the urgency in every play, there's something you have to do well on every play. But we feel like, there's a great upside with Dwayne, and I've said it a bunch of times. He's worked very hard. We feel good about, where we're headed, the progress he's made, and what the future holds.
What do you guys need to see from him at that number 3 spot this year as far as his development? Obviously, he's not going to be on the field unless the worst case scenario happens, but what do you want him to get out of being on the roster?
Same thing we want from everybody else, just to get better every day. I mean, those are our choices, right? You can get better, you get worse, you never stay the same. So we want him to get better. We want him to look and watch the reps he gets, with the mental reps, which is a lot more mental than physical when you're in that position. Obviously, there's guys all around the league and at every level of football who are in that spot. Some guys grow and work at it very hard. Some guys sit back and that's my role and don't get any better. And all indications point he's going to be the first example who works really hard and gets better every day. But that's what we'll look to see.
Offensive lines always have versatile guys that fill in multiple spots. Who do you feel has stepped up and shown you that, hey, I can help you with like 2 or 3 spots somewhere else along the line?
It'd be hard to pick just one. I think we talked about that last week or maybe the week before. Due to our situation with a guy out here and there throughout camp, we've had a guy bumped up and then he's been back. So we've had to move a lot of guys around. We've had a lot of guys in different spots. So I think that, that's the positive. It's never good a guy's out, never good a guy misses a day of practice. But the positive for us is we've had a lot of guys. We've had a lot of different, I've worked next to him, then I've worked next to him. And those are the things that we're trying to, prepare ourselves for and give ourselves some, a good blanket there to cover ourselves as things occur.
Would you say J.C. Hassenauer has done a good job helping you at both insides?
Yeah, JC's obviously been with us and certainly a big fan of his, how hard he works, his knowledge and what he can do when he is at center, but also, as you're mentioning, he can fill in at guard and help us there and do the things we need to do if something occurs. So JC is certainly a big part of our line and a big part of our offense.
Matt, what do you like about Chooks on the right and Dan more on the left?
Obviously, we're looking at all those options. Dan was on the left earlier. At times when Chooks was out and Banner was gone, and now Banner. So now we're just looking at those possibilities and what's the best for us. So we've not yet really determined what that's going to be. Chooks played a lot on the right last year, as you know. Dan's been on the left in his previous life and what he's done before. So we're just, again, to the previous question, we're looking at how the best pieces fit, working by themselves, working next to somebody else, where they're most comfortable, where it gives us the best advantage matchup-wise. So we're just, nothing's set in stone yet. Obviously, Coach will make those determinations for you guys when he's ready to. But we're just looking to make sure we have everything covered because things occur in a season, and you guys know that.
Joe has worked also on the inside during his career outside. He's really only worked a tackle. Is there maybe a thought to maybe kick Joe Haig inside, who's working guard, center?
Obviously, as we just make the cuts, yesterday and the numbers start to go down, now you're out of the business of who's going to play, and where we've got. So that would certainly be something we might have to look at in time. We feel good about where we are with options, but, obviously, like I said, we got to play. Whatever happens, you have to have yourself prepared with backups. So certainly something could happen.
Is having Josh, I know he's on IR, Josh Dobbs, is his plan to be around and keep you a resource during games, during practice, during meetings?
Yeah, Josh, obviously, really tough situation for him getting hurt. I mean, he came out and he's played well and was playing well. Last week had a big run there, and it's just unfortunate situation for him that occurred. But obviously, because of that, he has to do what he has to do, and he'll be around here as he's able to be. And we're certainly, when he's around, we're always going to enjoy that because he's a great resource of knowledge and just a great team guy.
With the way that the preseason is scheduled this year, obviously kind of having like this bye week going into week 1, do you guys like that better, or would you almost rather the sense of, hey, we ramp up and go right into it?
Since that's what we're doing, I like it better. I mean, I think doesn't really matter either way. So I think I think Coach mentioned it today in the team meeting with our situation. We're having the Hall of Fame game. We started a little bit earlier, and we've had a pretty good grind here, and we feel like we've got a lot accomplished. So I think a break for the players, there's a positive in that to get away and then come in and get ready to go. So I'm going to make the best of whatever happens. So it's a great situation, and we're excited about having a day or two here to take a breath.
How is the divisional labor and running back kind kind of split up after Najee, and do you have input on that? Or is that in terms of the packages for being McFarland or whatever it might be at certain plays, third down type of thing? Has that been kind of working through that now, or?
Obviously, yeah, we're doing that all the time. In matchups, who does what, things the best. Who's better at this, who's better at that, and what matchups create issues for the teams we play week to week. So yeah, that's something that's always happening.
With play action in your offense, how can that help someone like from the slot, like the Juju Smith-Schuster, who maybe eats over the middle of the field more than say on the boundary like a guy like Chase Claypool? How can play action help a guy like Juju versus those guys?
This guy's giving signals back here, messing me up. Obviously, matchups are going to go either way we can. I mean, I think to answer your question, I think you're going to come in with a plan of what we're going to do. Our job is to put our players in the best position to make plays. At the same time, finding those matchups on the other side that, exploit whatever we can. Every team's got great players, but we have to find the best matchup we can, and we could be playing whoever. So getting Juju inside or outside, getting Chase inside or outside, playing with two tight ends, the previous question, playing with multiple backs, all those things in a given week we hope can give us an advantage to let our players play fast.
What about Juju makes him a mismatch over the middle of the field?
Just Juju's unbelievable toughness, in my opinion. Juju plays so physical, Juju plays so hard, he makes those catches.
And how far is Zach come as a blocker? And can you use him in those type of situations?
Juju, is that your reference?
No, Zach.
Oh, how far has Zach come? Zach's come a long way for the time I've been here. I think Zach's embraced his role. He has a unique role. He's a huge man that plays tight end. I think he's worked very hard at his ball skills, first off, to make sure he can make those catches, but so where he's not just a big blocker. But I do think his blocking has improved, and I think that gives us some flexibility in the matchup game, things he can do in the pass game and the run game. And I'm very happy with where Zach's at. Happy for him. I know it's a big deal for him, and happy for him because he's put a lot of work in.
Specifically in this offense, how do you feel play action fits into your puzzle? You talked about the mismatches. How can play action specifically cause a mismatch?
Well, defense can stop any play they want. I've said that forever. If a defense wants to stop the run, they can stop the run. If a defense wants to stop a pass, they can stop a pass. Our ability to run the ball when we have to run it or throw the ball when we have to throw it is what takes great offenses to where they want to be. But if we're going to run the football, which is something we definitely want to focus on, if you only run it out of certain looks, then they know that. So you have to have play action pass off that, in our opinion, to be somebody that's hard to defend. So, we may, it's what the defense allows you to do, what the defense matchup presents for you. We just want to be good enough in all facets that whatever they're trying to stop, we can do the other one.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Keith, is Pierre the guy at number 3 point?
Well, we got several guys, and I'm not going to tell you who the guy is. I'm going to make that Buffalo figure that out. Okay? We got several guys that can play and move around at different positions, and we're going to move them around at different positions. So in terms of who's going to be the nickel, who's going to be the left corner, who's going to be the right corner, who's going to be the free safety, strong safety, all that stuff. Fortunately for us, we got some guys who knows the whole defense, and they know what we're going to expect out of each position, and we can change positions with them if we need to.
Keith, you've got some different numbers in terms of what you guys typically
right.
do. 8 defensive linemen,
Uh-huh.
I think 6 inside linebackers.
Why?
Does that change how you kind of do things a little bit?
Well, what's always been the case here since Mike's been here, and Bill too, the guys who are backups are kept because of how they can help Danny Smith, which it should be. So linebackers are premium for playing special teams. And so we need guys who can run down and make tackles on special teams. Field position is going to be big for us, big for everybody really. So those guys making the team means they're good at what they do in terms of special teams. And that's what we tell our guys all the time, man. Buy yourself time if you're not a high round draft choice or something like that. Buy yourself time on the roster by playing well on special teams. Because the longer you play on special teams, the more you make yourself valuable, then you give yourself a chance to one day become a starter. If you don't do that, if you don't hang around long enough, then it's very hard to become a starter. And if you're not a starter, then you better be playing special teams or you're going to get cut, as y'all saw with what happened with ours. And the way it always going to happen with us.
He's not using backers and DBs, though. He's got 3 linemen that contribute on.
We got 3 good young linemen, and we got some good old linemen too. So having those guys is going to help us, I think. You know, we drafted a couple of them, and they're coming along for us. We think they're going to be pretty good down the line. You know, Cam's been around for a long time. 94's been around for a long time. We certainly glad we got those guys because they got good experience for us and they play well for us and have made us a good defense. So we're going to keep them and then see what we can do with our younger defensive linemen. They're hard to come by sometimes.
Keeping that many of them, does that insulate you in the event too?
I think you got to, you know, do a lot of things in terms. There's some options there, more options than there's been in the past in terms of how many you can have on the roster, how many you can have on the practice squad. How do you bring people up and down from the practice squad? It's a little bit different and stuff like that. So, yes, do we want some more outside linebackers? We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the secondary too. You know, because you never know until, you know, the cut day has happened and what guys are available and what guys are not. So for right now, I'm happy with what we got, and we're going to go to war with them. And I'm ready to go. I'm tired of waiting on this season to start. Hopefully, we can get this thing started and start playing.
Having a guy like Wormley around, is that a good backup plan to it in case?
Yes. Yeah. Obviously, Stefan, you know, we was hoping he was ready to go, but we didn't know. Never know. You know, you don't know how injuries go sometimes, and so I'm glad we got him and kept him. It gives our young guys a chance to develop a little bit more and watch the guys in front of them. Not to say that our young guys aren't going to play. You know, we always rotate people early in the season, and the reason we do that is because, you know, I don't think it's very hard to get in what I call hitting shape and cardiovascular shape unless you do it. And so we got to make sure that we got enough people and we keep people fresh during the game, hopefully.
Are you comfortable with 4 cornerbacks, or?
I don't think anybody's comfortable with four cornerbacks, you know. But we got guys who can play different positions. You know, Cam can play different positions. He can play the nickel. 42 can play. I mean, he's shown that he can play in preseason. We think we're okay right now by playing them in different positions. You know, if there's somebody comes available out there in Never Land, we'll see what happens. You know.
What were your thoughts on Tre Norwood's first go at nickelback there?
I liked what I saw with him because he's a very smart young man. You know, it makes him a little bit more versatile. And you know, if you hear me talk about people making the roster, those people that make the roster are people that can do more than one thing. I just talked about, you know, special teams and Danny Smith and stuff like that. So those guys that made inside linebacker, I mean, how many inside linebackers we got? We got 6, we got 4 outside linebackers, okay? The reason we got those guys is because they can do more than play outside linebacker or inside linebacker or nickel or safety, you know, and that's the same thing with Tre. You know, he can do more than one thing, so he makes it, like I said, it makes himself valuable. And if they can do that, they got a chance to make the team. You got a chance to make the team, you got a chance to enhance your career by what you put on film.
Anything else? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.